the computer. Okay. So the first thing I would do, I would start my control panel. So I have that running here. You can see XAMPP underneath here. I have these two running, even though I'm not going to use Apache at the moment, sorry, MySQL at the moment, but I want to keep it on. So I have this ready, and I'm going to minimize this. I have my folder, which is in htdoc. In Windows, I have 3 XAMPP. You will have only 1 or 2, up to you how many. This is version 8. So in here, because I'm building new tutorial, I always wanted to update the latest. So I went with this, and inside that there is htdoc where I have my tutorials. So I have 2 groups. Of course, I have level 2 and level 3. This is level 3. This is where I want to create my project. So of course, I have created it yesterday. So I'm going to delete it. It's going to do it. So here I can create the folder straight away like this. I can just right click here, or I can open with the code and create within the code. You can also create within the code, but anyone knows how to create the a folder using right click. You can create it here. So let's call it something like 1. That will be my 1. I'm going to call it a PHP file system. Okay, I'm just going to call it PHP file system. And now I have a simple, I can just right click and open with code. That's for visual, those with Windows. If you do not have Windows, you have to open the Visual Studio Code first, then go to file menu and then say open folder. So we want to open the entire folder here. Okay. So that's our folder. That's our folder. Now in here, I'm going to quickly create an environment for me. First, I'm going to create a PHP file. I'm going to call it header.php, header.php. Header will be partial. It's going to contain all the necessary information about the top side of my page. So that's header.php. I'm going to create quickly another file called footer.php. These 2 files are called partial, sometimes templates, because we're going to use these 2 files in every other files. This way, we can have a consistent look and feel of all pages. Unlike the HTML earlier static page, where you create a master page with everything in it, and then you copy paste to create other pages like maybe about and contact. So the problem with that, because each of these pages has each of them header. Yeah. Excuse me. So if you change it, if you change one page, let's say you change something in an index page in the header, navigation bar or logo, you have to then again do the same into the other pages, because physically they have the HTML copied in each. With the server side, you can save that problem from having header and footer files separately. So I have 2 basic files here. I need 1 more file that will load header and footer. So I'm going to create this file called index.php. That will be my landing page. Index.php is called index everywhere. In every server knows when you load a website, it looks for a file called index.php, index.html, index.asp, whatever file programming language you need, but they look for something called index, and that's the landing page it picks up. You can configure your server, Apache server, to not to pick up index, but to pick up something else, your name.php, it doesn't matter. But most of the server in the world are configured with index or home, the word. These are landing pages. Index is the one we can create. Now, these all 3 files are completely free, empty. There's nothing there. Beside these 3 files, I want to put some folder here for my resources like CSS style sheets, JavaScript. Sorry, I'm just going to create a folder. Oh, folder says this JS. I have it CSS. Why does it look like a different thing? It should look like a folder. Let me double check. It looks slightly different. It should be a folder. Oh, it's a file. Let's delete it. It should be CSS folder. So let's create another folder quickly. New folder, CSS. You can create as many you want. So that's the basic thing. I can also create another folder for my images. I just what I'm doing. Why is going to file? It should not be file. Right click again, new folder, and call it images. So that's how we did earlier. Now, interesting to see in the header, what do we want to put in the header? So let's go to header PHP, make sure they're extension header. And I'm going to start a PHP tag. So the way I do it, as you know, is like I put a couple of angular brackets, bring my cursor in the middle, put two question marks adjacent to each other, and then bring my cursor in the middle, and I write PHP and press enter. It's easy way to remember a closing tag, but some people will suggest to remove the closing tag. Never do that, just keep it the way it is. Here, I can put PHP info, for example, to check whether you saw earlier days, last time when you did it, you can anything you write in this area will be treated as a PHP. Anything outside this will be treated as a HTML or something else. So that's how we write PHP. Of course, my header at the moment, I do not have anything to write in PHP. I'm going to just keep a pure HTML for now because we do not have it. Over the period of time, we'll have new things. So at this moment, I'm just going to add pure HTML. So to do that, I use my shift key and press 1, which gives me this exclamation sign, and I press enter. When I do the enter, as you know, this gives you a boilerplate code. These codes, so you don't have to type. It's a common template for any file. So here you have doc type HTML, you have language English, you can change it to Espanol or anything you like. You have a very important character set up for your header. Interesting part, anything you load here in the header, because you're going to load this header.php into other file. So any resources you load in the header or footer will have effect on other pages, which is good. So I don't have to load character set in every single pages. If I have 20 pages, 30 pages, e-commerce sites continue many pages, and I don't have to do that. I just have to write in one page, UTF-8. Because my header will be loaded to about page, contact page, product page, everywhere is a partial. Whatever I'm loading here will be available. That support will be available to other files. So that's the character set, and we have some compatibility for the Internet Explorer. Just leave it the way it is. And we have a viewport meta tag, which is very important for your mobile responsiveness. Without this, media query doesn't work. You won't be able to write breakpoint without this. So this viewpoint is a boilerplate again. It's adjust the width based on the width of the device. That's all it does. So if you shrink, if you make it bigger, you can try that, and the width will be always updated with the device and the width itself. This portion is here is just default initial scaling. So when you first go to the website, it will try to give you 100% zoom. And what I mean by that is, if you just open any website, as you can see, let's say I can zoom in by Control Plus. Excuse me. Control Plus, as you can see, is zooming. So it's now 100. It's now 200%. I can even do that. So the initial scale, what it does is brings in 100% when you load first time a page. That's what it is. That's support it gives you, which is good news. We have a little title. If you change title here, it will be in every pages. How to write different title for different pages, I'll show you later. We need PHP support for that. On this case, we'll have only one title across the pages. So I'm just going to say my project, my PHP project or something. That's things. Now I have the entire whole page, HTML body here. Anything goes inside the body is visible. I'm going to take this part away, the closing body and closing HTML part away. I'm going to take it away because I'm going to put them into my footer. It's like an enclosure. This is like an opening of your page. Middle bit will be the independent page and their contents, and the end part will be the footer. So I'm just going to take it away. And as you can see, I didn't even type single PHP here yet. So I'm going to go to the footer, make some space here, just put it here. I made some space because I'm going to put some JavaScript in here. Now remember, when you add JavaScript, always add JavaScript in the footer. Do not add in the header. That's suggested because JavaScript is a blocking code. JavaScript is there to work on the on the content or the HTML tags you have written underneath. And if you load JavaScript on the top, what happens is when a page loads in the computer, internet, or browsers, line by line code loads, and let's say it's get executed. So when they encounter JavaScript at this line, it's going to try to process the JavaScript. Now in the JavaScript, you said get element by ID of that particular div, which is in the bottom of the page, which did not load yet because of the internet connection. Is coming slowly, even for a millisecond, and it's going to throw you an error saying a reference error. I couldn't find the ID of the div or the div you just mentioned in the script. So it is going to create a console error. You might see hundreds of console error. It might even block your remaining pages. So it's suggested that you load it at the end, which is the footer. You load your external JavaScript at that. Even if internal JavaScript, try to do that in the bottom. That saves you time. Another way you can also, if you say, no, I am used to putting JavaScript inside the head, not in the footer. I'm not used to. I like that style. Of course, you can do that. In that case, you can use a new feature of JavaScript external loading system called defer. You can command your JavaScript. There is a small command attributes you can add. Wait till everything loads. Now it has some good and bad things. You might forget about. Many things may happen. So the best things to do, don't worry about those extra things. Just put it in the footer as safe, so you don't have headache anymore. And most of the framework you'll see they put the JavaScript in the footer. So we're going to follow that. Okay. Is that clear? My header, remember, only contain the body, opening tag. Footer content, body, closing tag, and HTML. I made some space here, so I can put as many JavaScript out. I can put internal JavaScript here. That's pretty much my header and footer. Of course, if I open my index file, sorry?
You just add the closing body and the closing HTML tag. You don't need to open it on the footer, right?
Yes.
Perfect.
In the footer, I just close my file.
Okay.
So that's pretty much it is. You do not need anything. Over the time, we will have more resources coming and adding to header and footer use. So for now, that's pretty much as simple as this. Okay, all framework, even if your WordPress and all CMS, they do the similar style because nobody wants to create 5. You can even have a separate header as well. Like say you have a admin page, which has an admin dashboard for your application. You can even have an admin header, which is dedicated for admin kind of environment. Back office, we call them back office, which you'll be learning some of them here on level 3. So you can have multiple header for multiple setup operations. You can do the multiple navigation for multiple navigation bar for a lot of things can be done. It's the opportunities and possibilities are enormous. It's ginormous. So you can do whatever you like, but have a plan. My plan is simple: having a header with opening tag and footer. Now, in this case, you may ask whether, as I said, anything you put in here will be available to all other pages. I haven't loaded anything yet in this page. I will go to the PHP side soon. So, but you have to consider a few things when you create this header. As you can see, you may think I have a template where each of the page after the navigation, you will also have a carousel, which is like a slideshow kind of thing. So you show your products and whatnot, new upcoming events and stuff. If you really want that carousel and navigation bar to be available to every other pages, then things that is common, put them into a header. So I could at the moment I only have up to 9, and I can have a navigation bar here. I can have a carousel here because I choose to put those common thing in every pages. But if you choose no, I'm just gonna keep the navigation bar up to navigation, nothing else. Then you keep it that way. It's up to you how you want. But for now, we're just gonna keep the navigation bar. We're not gonna do anything else. So one part has done. Header and footer has been created. Now let's go to index PHP, the glue, the one who's going to glue them together. Index, about, and all this. So let's do this. At the top of it, you just write again a PHP, a simple PHP code. Just put a PHP and press enter. Now, within this, we use a specific function. It's built in PHP functions. It's called include. It's a pure English language. Include. So you don't even have to remember too much what it's called. Most of these functions are actually informative themselves by name. So I have 4 functions here. Include. Include. Okay, that's one. Say name of the file. Okay, let's name of the file called test.php. I'm just going to show you all of them. Include once. That's also another function. Just putting here, you may say, where is the test.php? I haven't built it yet. I'm just going to show you that how many ways you can include them. Require. Test.php. Of course, you may say, how can I remember all of them? Trust me, you don't have to. Okay, these are 4 flavors of loading external pages. A good question could be, whether you said that this is going to load the partial, but we also linked our file earlier in a static website. We linked with CSS, we linked with JavaScript as external file. What is the difference? The difference is this. Linking a file which is external, which you put a link, CSS link to external CSS folder, they're not actually loaded into as a partial, a part of the main scripts. As you look at the script name, it's called index.php. That's the PHP scripts or file. Now, when I write these kind of things, it's going to glue all these files and it's still going to be index.php. That's one script. But linking something is not going to load the body of header and footer into it. It's going to point to it. Hey, there is a function in JavaScript external page, or there's a class in CSS page. Go and fetch it. So it's going to go and fetch it. So linking is one thing, and loading itself, the whole body of the content like header, is another thing. The server side allow you to do that. The static doesn't do it. They can link you. So I have 4 flavors here. Includes the one we teach usually in the basic. What include does is loads this file. That's it. You can load multiple file like this. The problem with include, accidentally, if I do include same file twice, it's not going to prevent it. It's going to show twice. Let's say I have a menu bar. I have a file called nav.php, which represents only the navigation bar. I included them twice, and you will see 2 navigation bar, one after another. And that's not good. Include doesn't check for it. It's very open-minded. So not very good for that kind of things, but it's there. You may say, why do we need all of this? A programming language grows over the time. When they start with let's include. Then they realize that, oh, we need actually better than this. That's why they need new versions. But they sometimes keep the old one because still people are using them somewhere. If they remove support for them, people who's been using PHP earlier, they will be in trouble. Their site will be in trouble. Or maybe this could be still useful. So over the period of time, they build new functions. But then when it comes to a stage, you took the contemporary one, the one you think is suitable for you. So I'm definitely not going to use include. I can use include once. This is good news. Include once, name suggest. Even if I type it twice, the same file, let's get rid of include. Let's type it twice. It has a mechanism that can figure it out. I have already loaded test.php in index.php, and it's going to stop it, or it's going to give you a warning. It's going to do something for you, saying, mate, what are you doing? You already loaded, or it's going to stop. These 2, on the other hand, similar, but it is only for object-oriented programming. Like if you load a class, for example, a plugins example, this is much more heavy loaded stuff, which we will be doing in our framework. Required include is not a mandatory. If you miss an include file, it is going to say file not found. But there are some files which are required to run the rest of the application, such a class. when you learn the object-oriented. Without that class, you won't be able to apply the functionality of it. So what we do, we force people to say, wait, if you want to add this feature on your product, you need to load the product class. So it's called require. Require and require once the same thing. If you do require twice, it's going to load it twice. That's not a good idea. So we'll do require once, but that is something you will learn later. So favorite will be these two. When you're doing structured programming or procedural programming, what we are doing now, we're going to keep it include once. When you're loading a specific class that has a lot of things going on, file outload system, payment system, whatnot, then we'll be using require. That means there is no optional. You need to load it. It's going to give you a fatal error. It says this file is required. You have not provided me with this, and it's going to make a big fuss about it. So, is it clear with the include once, guys?
Yeah.
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 Yes.
Brilliant. Since this is done, I want to show you two flavors of the same function. Now, these I call them functions. If you hover onto them, we have a beautiful IntelliSense comes up. A little bit of tooltip kind of thing. This comes up because I already have installed extension, a PHP extension called IntelliSense. You can download it. I showed you yesterday, perhaps. So if you go to extension, just type PHP. It's going to give you all the extension available. Beautiful extension, does different things, makes your life easier. GitHub, this and that. I installed this piece of information. PHP is from the PHP. I just installed it. What it does, it helps you to give a lot of information about built-in functions. Okay, and it tells a lot of how to use them, and they will come automatically. It's very helpful. You can also have other developers as well. Just install one at least, that should do. You have PHP extensions, different types of extension pack. You can install all of it. It comes with a lot of packs. You can read more about them in here, underneath in here. Just while I'm here, I'm just saying, you can see what kind of things they have here. Extension pack. You can download whatever you have. Of course, I now have an extension on with me. That's why I could do like this. If I hover onto, if you already can do it, that means you already have installed it. So if you hover onto this, any function, it's going to give you a lot of information in a tooltip. Very helpful. So you don't have to go to php.net. The include once statement includes and evaluates the specified file. Sorry, excuse me. Let me read this. The include once statement includes and evaluates the specified file during the execution of the script. This is a behavior similar to include statement, with the only difference being that if the code from a file has already been included, it will not be included again. As the same as the name suggests, it will be included just once. Is it clear? Whatever I just said earlier. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Include once may be used in cases where the same file might be included and evaluated more than once during a particular execution of a project. So in this case, it may help avoid problems such as function duplication or redefining the same function, or redundancy, or variables, values, and assignment. So basically what it's trying to say that accidentally you may have loaded twice a file using include, not include once. It helps if you load the same file twice using include. You might have a similar function loaded twice, and your script will get confused which function you want to use. They have two functions, same variable in both, so they might overwrite things. So to avoid these circumstances, we use include once. So you can read a little bit more about it. If they require once, you can also just do it, and you can actually hover onto. So let me just write this. So you can hover onto it. Remember, these are advanced courses. What means that not that we're gonna build big applications. It doesn't mean that you're making big applications through this. What it means by advanced course is you will be knowing the nuggets of the programming languages, how to read a programming language. Lots more details into each of these. Then it will open your eye much more clearly. Such as like this, what I'm showing right now. This is also learning the grammar of the programming language itself. This is similar to every programming language. The require once statements is identical to require, except PHP will check if the file already has been included, and if so, not include it again. Similar. So of course, with that I said something special. I said usually we use for loading a class. Let's say often word. Okay. We use it to load a class. Sorry, a class file. Usually required because it's mandatory. Include one is not mandatory, and it's some script depends on your class. And if you don't load it, it's going to give you a fatal error. Then and there, they're saying you have this file missing to remind you, so you can load the class. Okay. So this is gone. Let's get rid of this. We're not going to use it later. We're going to use it when we use framework. So instead of test, because I do not have a test, I do not have a test file. The file I have is called header. Header.php on the top. Now this is one section. I'm just going to quickly copy this and then go ahead and make some space here. Put it here. I'm just going to change it to footer. So that's pretty much my header and footer loaded in index. How do I know? I still can't see it, but we'll see. And I have this middle part which I want to dedicate it for my index page. Of course, if you think there are a lot of space you can save, you can also, if you are the person who wants to do a little bit more tidy up and anything, just you can do this like this in one line. It's not a problem. So you can do it in one line like this. You can do it in one line. Okay. It's basically this is it. Let me put some space so it will be easily visible for you. So that's my container. I have the header and footer, top part and bottom part. Now I want to do some content for my home page. So I can easily write HTML here because I came out of. Look, I opened the PHP, I came out of PHP. I opened the PHP. So anything that I've written in PHP is within the remains within the PHP, closing and opening tag. Now I can write HTML here. It's not a problem. So I'm just going to say H1, press enter. I said, welcome to index page or home page, just to show you. So that's pretty much it is. Now I successfully loaded two files together with the content of its own. I can just say paragraph, paragraph. I can say lorem 100. Sorry, I'm just gonna put some dummy lorem 100. It used to give me, yeah, that's it. I'm gonna put some dummy text. This technique you can apply to put some dummy text. Just type lorem and how many characters, how many words you want. I wanted 100 words, I put hundreds there, just to check some dummy font and everything. So that's my thing. So you can even go like this. You can say, I'm gonna put a nice div here. Say div, sorry, div. I'm gonna put a div here saying my index page class will be this page will have separate content. I can call it home content or home page sections. You can have it, and you can home container. home container. So, and I can have it about container for different pages, however you plan it. So that's my div closing. Home container means the home page container. I may have another page called about container, slightly different style, different background, different style, a minute change to each page's content. So that's home page. I'm happy with this. Let's have a look. How does it look like? Is it clear so far?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's fire my application. I go here. I say localhost. Localhost. I'm going to say tutorials. Yes, tutorials. Let's go there. Just gonna put a little index here. Level 3. You may not see, you may not even understand by looking at it that whether header and footer has been loaded or not. Can you tell?
Yeah, no, you cannot tell because you cannot see.
You cannot, because ideally header and footer contain information that cannot be seen by MT on a page that's not meant to be seen. But so you're thinking maybe header and footer have been not loaded actually. How do I know it's loaded? You can check the source to double check it. We can see the header and footer has been loaded. Anything you wrote in header footer will be loaded. You see the header has been loaded. That's my index content. That's the footer. Can you see it? So this is how many files this index file contain? Can anyone guess? At least 3. What are those? Header, the footer at the bottom, and you have middle view. Fantastic. So that's done. Now the second part of it. What about if I want to create another page? I can just copy this. I can just copy the index file and rename it about.php and then change whatever I like in the middle bit. I can create as many as I want. So this is how you create a very basic PHP, right? Of course, you may say, Rubud, I want to have this container colored. I want to put some CSS. I want to do some styling. You can do that. You can easily do that. So let's say I want to put a nice box-like thing around this container. Okay, and I want to put a background color. I can do that. I can easily do that. To do that, I need a CSS file. I would like to have external CSS file. Okay, shall I do that?
Yes.
Let's do this without the bootstrap. Then I'm going to add the bootstrap. I'm going to remove these things and do the just to show you. You may wonder, how can then I add a CSS style? Well, this thing is very simple. This is your header, and I'm just quickly going to create a CSS file. I'm just going to click on this. Remember, this little arrow flips. That's open. I right click, new file. I can call it style.css. In my cases, I call them custom or custom style.css. Why custom? You can call it style.css. It doesn't matter. Because everything that I do other than Bootstrap default styling system, I tend to put them in a name file called custom style. Not only me, any developer does that. So when you look at a custom style, it means, okay, I got that. The Bootstrap has beautiful these things, but there are things that I've changed. I have my own CSS. Where can I put them? Put them into CSS file, custom CSS file. That's the empty file. Nothing in here. Now I need to load that file into my header. So where do I load that? I load that after title. Link. That's the one. And CSS, that's your folder name. Remember this in the CSS folder, and load the custom CSS. Now you load it. Because the header file is now linked with every pages, they will have the same style. Let's have a look at one. Let's put some style in our custom CSS. So I'm going to throw a reset CSS. Okay, I'm going to say border no border, sorry, padding. I'm gonna remove all the padding. Everybody, do you remember this reset CSS? Anyone remember?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Remember, sometimes each of these, those who don't know, browser has their own default some sort of margin and border padding. Because they have different dimensions slightly, it could affect your own design. It could take away from your calculation. So the best thing to do is throw a reset. Now you find this reset CSS boilerplate code. If you search Google reset CSS, you will find hundreds of free CSS, reset CSS. You can just copy those CSS and put it there. The one I'm doing, it is kind of lazy way. However, it works. Most of the border it works. Rather than, so let's have a look how the reset, why I did this and how it is working. If I say I want to download a reset, it's very important part, reset CSS. Now these are part of DevOps, and that's what I want to show you. You may wonder hours, why still there is a gap? That's because there is an anomaly in the browser themselves. So we remove everything first, we rebuild from scratch. So you can say I need a download reset CSS. We have all more. Okay, I have plenty of them. I just can open one. Still 5. These are people made it. These are boilerplate. Let's see which one I can use. You can use almost any of these things. These are more detailed one. You'll see in a minute. We are now linking. Remember, we're now linking. We have now 3 files. We're linking our CSS external, our own CSS. We have learned the link. He's just gonna put something. Look at that. It's quite big. Quite massive CSS. Now you can copy all of it, put it into CSS. Yeah, you can. Yeah. Or you can do one thing. You can just create another file for reset CSS, and then put them into here. Yeah, you can do that. So if it is too much reset, it's gonna be too big CSS file for you. All you have to do, create a reset CSS like this.
Okay.
Reset.
Custom. No, reset.
Yeah. Reset the reset CSS, and then grab this copy from here.
Okay.
For now, let me just copy this. Copy to clipboard, and then just paste it there. If you're looking for a massive website building yourself, I would definitely recommend to put your own. Oh, sorry, I put in a footer. My apologies.
Was there Picalili, right? Yeah, Picalili.
Sorry.
Was Picalili that Lee, the website where you are?
Yeah.
Yeah. I
This
think
guy,
it's one of the
a couple of his courses. He's amazing. This guy.
Picalili. Where's my? Did I delete my CSS and everything? Let me double check. I think I lost a little bit of my focus on this. Let me see where it is. Let me see. Yeah, I heard his name. It's good.
He created his own CSS framework, and a lot of people are using it now. Yeah, he's really good. Really, I'd really recommend it.
Yeah, I didn't know. I'll keep it Picalili.
I think I accidentally removed the CSS folder. Let me quickly create it. Here, let me just quickly create another file. Yeah, that's creating your own framework is time consuming, very good work, but you have to be expert. New file, custom CSS. And let's create another one.
Can we have a 5 minutes break?
Yeah.
Or go
Yeah.
Is it
okay.
It's 11:01 minute.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a very good idea. So let's come back after a little break. I'm gonna. So let's go back to our file. That's our reset CSS that I want to link, you can go to and grab a copy from it. Any of them. There are plenty of them. You can see they're quite big.
So we won't name it.
There are plenty. So you can then put into this. So that's going to be my reset CSS. And then, oh, sorry.
Okay.
I need to change it to CSS. CSS. So I have two CSS now. Let's go to header. But when you load them, load reset first.
So link.
Load this first because that's going to the way hierarchy is the way you load them. So you load the reset CSS first, then custom CSS. Is that clear?
Yeah.
Now I have this. Let's fire my application. You see, once I loaded, it's jumped up. It's more consistent now. I don't know if you can see it. Just remove all the space, additional space from it. So if you look at the reset CSS, it has a lot of things in it. It's kind of massive thing. Box sizing, this and that, and this and that. You can always put them into your reset. Always good.
Sorry, did you just search
you want to do
reset CSS on the internet to get to that encoding?
So if you really don't want this reset, let's say I don't want a reset, I want an easy one. I can get rid of this. I'm just gonna delete this. I'm gonna, for now, because our project is at the moment, it's not that. So I'm going to just get rid of this reset CSS. I can just.
How did you do that again?
By not using it, I doesn't get rid of this. Just to keep it simple. But you can load a CSS. In our custom, I'm just going to create rather than writing all these tags, 100 tags, I'm going to use these techniques. And I'm just going to reset a few things. Margin 0. Remember, I don't have to write 0px. You can write px, it's not a problem. If it is 0, it doesn't matter whether you write px or not. Padding, all side 0. Then I need box sizing, border box. We explained this thing earlier. So a reset, we can say a reset CSS. Wait. Of course, now I have reset. Reset CSS will remove everything, as you know. And what else we need? We need to check what kind of course, I'm going to close this footer. Index file, I have a little home container, which is dedicated for home container, home page. It's going to put some style to it. First, I'm going to do it with the custom style, then I'm going to load the Bootstrap. So home CSS, let's width is 100% anyway. I'm going to put a background color for now. Some light background color. Let's put a bit more dark, just for fun. That's the background color I decided to choose to put there. Let's see how it looks like now. Yeah, can you see this now? So that's my custom style for this particular div. Now, if I want, I can also go ahead and style more. I can say justify I can say, because this is a parent container, whatever you like right here will be applied to the child paragraph. I can say text align, justify. If you do not want 100%, you can say width, maybe 80%. You can go ahead and you can say font, different font family. You can choose anything you like. Verdana, I'm gonna go with the Verdana for now. You can change the font size to, let's say 1.5 VW viewport. So it's gonna go bigger and smaller based on how it is. Let's see how it looks like. Okay, so there 80% is not centralized. I'm gonna make it central, and if I make it bigger and smaller, the font size should change. Taking a little longer. Update it. As you can see, if I just do like this, the font size, the viewport width measurement, font size helps you to go bigger and smaller, or you can put REM in percentage. Okay, so I want to make it center. I want to make this thing center, so I said margin up and down, auto, left and right, auto. This is gonna be in the center. What did I do wrong? No, this is my computer. Yeah. So that's pretty much it is. If you want margin on the top, you want padding, I want some padding. So I can go ahead and say padding, put some padding on every side, let's say 10, 15 px, all side. I can do this kind of thing. So you have a nice padding, you have some text, you could play with it as much as you want. Is that clear up to here?
Yeah.
I was okay, right? So we have done that. Now, this is an internal CSS. You see your external CSS, your own CSS. Of course, if you're up to here, you know that I would use my Bootstrap. Now, the second part of it, I'm going to go and grab a Bootstrap. I'm not going to use, of course, I will have a custom CSS for my styling purpose. But of course, if I load Bootstrap, then I can use Bootstrap grid system and Bootstrap classes instead of doing everything on my own. So I'm not going to even keep anything in here. Just leave it there because Bootstrap comes with its own CS reset, so I don't have to do anything. I'm just going to keep it here in case I need it. So let's go and grab a CDN from our download Bootstrap. Let's go and say download Bootstrap 5, for example. Here I'm going to click the first one, getbootstrap.com, getting it started. Here they ask, you can do so many ways to download it. You can download the whole package, all of it, by clicking on the download button on top. It will download all sorts of CSS, SAS, map, file, whatnot. then you can put them into your CSS folder and manually link them. But to be honest, that's too many things to add. And if you download a local copy, they're not going to update themselves. Every time a new version comes, you have to re-download them and link them, which we did in earlier labels. But here, the best way to do it, I believe personally, that you just go with the CDN. Now, CDN means Content Delivery Network. It's a link to the original Bootstrap file, CSS and JavaScript, live on a server. So it's available for you.
Okay.
Now look at this CDN very carefully. If you're looking for a particular Bootstrap version, the CDN tells you in here, this is 5.0.2. So you might have a 5.0.3 coming, 4 coming. This gives you as much as information possible. It's coming from jsdeliver.net. The good news with these, if I link them, if they put some update on those files, I get the update automatically. You may think, what about if I'm not online, if I'm not, if I'm doing it offline? So obviously, if you are not online, you're not going to get this update anyway. That's not meant to be online. It's meant to be, it's meant to be online, the website anyway. However, will it work on offline if I'm offline? Yes, once you linked, and if you disconnect internet, it should work because your CSS, HTML, and JavaScript get cached in your computer. So when I link this file and refresh my page will fetch them. It will go and grab those CSS and download a local copy for me. So I still can work if the internet is gone. It will still apply. So, and they made it very simple. Only 2 files you need: one JavaScript, one CSS to start with. So that it says compile just. Okay, I'm just gonna copy these 2. Copy this. As I told you earlier, I'm going to paste the CSS file here. But remember, when I'm putting the CSS Bootstrap file, I'm putting above my custom CSS. So anything that comes with Bootstrap, will be above my custom, because so that anything I put to customize or change the Bootstrap will be applied after it. So the how you put them is very important. As top it is, it has less priority. As bottom they have more overriding priority. So I would put the custom CSS after I load the Bootstrap CSS, so I can customize it. So I'm going to paste it here. Now I pasted 2 files. One is scripts, one is CSS. I'm going to take away this scripts file, because as I told you earlier, we're going to put them into our footer. I keep everything there the way it came. I'm going to change integrity or anything. I'm just going to leave the way it is. So just kept the CSS. You can also load other CSS like Font, Awesome, Google's, all CSS here. You keep loading them after Bootstrap. Custom CSS should be at the end, the last one. So that's done. Let's have a look in my footer, and let's add the JavaScript here. Paste it here. The JavaScript is done. Now that I know that I have loaded with Bootstrap, it's time for me to test.
Okay.
Now it's time to load, test whether it is. Now to test it, I need to definitely have to use some sorts of Bootstrap scaffolding, a grid system. So I need some help from Bootstrap. So I'm just gonna, but where I'm putting them into my index file. So my index file has this kind of things. I'm gonna get rid of them because I'm going to use now Bootstrap. The first thing I want a navigation bar from Bootstrap for my header. So let's have a look. I'm just gonna go to browser. I said Bootstrap 5. Bootstrap 5 nav bar. Okay, let's go see what nav bar they have. I'm just gonna grab one from there. they have a lot of things like this. Let's choose the first one, see what it is. I'm just gonna grab a number that suits my purpose. I want some branding on the left, see which one suits me. It's good to read them. Obviously, I'm not gonna read all of them. I have this nice one, drop downs, search, disabled, almost everything is here. But I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm not gonna take a big one, make it much more simpler one. What about this one? Let me see. What about this one? This one, okay, I guess. Let's copy this, see how it looks like. I copied the number. Is there anything much better? No, I think it's fine. Yeah, that's fine. I took one, just grab anyone you like. And now I'm gonna put the navbar into header. That's because I need navbar in all pages. So here, somewhere here, I'm going to paste it. Let's have a look how it's look like now. If Bootstrap loaded, you will see it's working. Yep. Let me see the mobile view. Yeah, it's working. As you can see, it's working. I'm quite happy with that. But I can see there is a small console error. Oh, that's my socket error. It's not a problem. So that's what I like. It's a very simple gray color. So you can change the color and whatever you like. So that's my navigation bar. After that, what do I need? I probably, that's pretty much it is.
Perfect.
Now that I have the navigation bar, I can now, that's a common thing. I need a footer. So let's go and check if I can have Bootstrap net footer. Grab a footer, just a basic thing. It's gonna go, I'm the Bootstrap, do they have get Bootstrap? Yeah, I'm just gonna, well, they have a lot of footer example. And carousel, everything should be here actually. Let's see if there is any footer here. Number, carousel, or components, a lot of components, alert card buttons. But I have plenty things. So I want a footer. Content, let's see, layout, index, grid, breakpoint, customize, content, bigger tables, utilities,
Utilities.
numbers. No, not particularly. Let's see what else I have here. Sticky footer, I need a footer, I need a footer. Oh, there are plenty numbers actually. Can you leave it? So I'm just gonna say footer, I need a footer. I need a footer. I don't want a sticky footer. They're not very good at footer, are they? Only have this. They should have it. Okay. Get bootstrap add get Bootstrap. Let's see if they have some example here. I wanna. Okay, they have something here. Let me see if I can grab one. This guy have one. Maybe I can get one from this. Yeah, this is basic one. Advanced example. Can I get this one? Let me see if I can get this. Sure. Will it work? Let me see. Copy. Let's try if it works. Because some of them are page, so I'm not sure this works. Footer. Let's go there, and I'm going to paste it here, just above here. Let's see if it works. So just do this. Yeah, so I have a header and footer. I don't have much content, but that's okay for now. I think. Let me see what I'm missing. These things are most missing. So I probably need some sorts of I probably need what kind of this is a premium one. Okay. Social. I have social. Don't worry, I'll add the social later on. I just need a logo for them. Link 4. Where's socials? Some GitHub section social media. Wow, that's quite big. That's the Facebook one. Fafa Facebook app. This is probably the latest font awesome. Anyway, let's see, we'll fix it later on. So we have a simple header and footer together. I do not have any. We just need to load this font awesome. They need to load it to get them nicely. So we don't have anything in the middle. So for that, I'm going to just quickly go and say Bootstrap 5 grid or columns. Sorry. Why you add extra things? Just want to say grid system. Let's fire it out. As you can see, I'm just borrowing codes from here and there, and just trying to make a scaffolding for myself. Very basic one. Yeah, simple column. No, I need a medium column. So let's go with the medium. Large also okay, but I'm just want to see. Small column D. Let me just write it down. So now I have footer, I have header. Let's go to index page. Here in the container, I do not need this any longer. I'm just going to use Bootstrap. So I'm just going to say Bootstrap container. So anything that you put it there goes in a container. Plus equals to container. Container, that's the container, main container. Within that, I'm going to create a row. One row, I'm going to create class equals to row. That's been done. And I want, how do I want? I want maybe 2 columns. One is, how do I want it? I want 1 column or 2 columns? Yeah, first one will be 1 column. So I said div, and here in the first row it will be 1 column. I want class. It's gonna say That's going to say call MD 12. I'm going to take all the way. And here I'm going to put a paragraph here, small paragraph intro of our company, Lorem, or about us. Well, just do this. H3. I'm going to say my PHP project. Okay. And here I'm going to put a paragraph, and I'm going to say Lorem. Sorry, I'm going to say Lorem 100, not 100. Okay, 100. That Lorem 100. So that's one column. That's one row gone. End of row, end of column, end of row. That's row. Let me just write this. And of first row. Okay. So one of the thing about Bootstrap, when I say, make sure that you pair them nicely, because if the pair are broken, it's a mess. It's difficult to sometimes merge them. So that's my one row in a container. My container can go on. Let's put the container at the end. That's okay. Put one more row. I need one more row here. Excuse me. Sorry about that. So put another row. This row will have two boxes. The first boxes I'll take about 9. Now I'll have some news here. No, so this will be products. Products, maybe. I'm just gonna keep it empty for now. And I have another div. I'm going to distribute plus. I have three row left, 12 column grade. MD medium. Go ahead and say 3. So that's pretty much here. I'm going to add some news section, maybe H1, H3 news, and a little bit of news here. Paragraph Lorem 50. That's pretty much. There's no styling at all. Just the basic grid. Okay, so that's my website look like now. I have products, details, or whatever you like. You might blog, maybe it could be a blog actually. My projects. Let's change it to much more. The story. Story. Oh dear God. The story will be our story or something. You can also put some more paragraphs to make it nicer if you want. Just the foundation. I did not do anything. Copy this or just Lorem 100. Yes, there. Let's see how it's look like. Maybe it's a blog about how you're learning your PHP, stuff like this. So I have now one row. That's all the way 12 column. My container, as you can see, also the good news is the container gives you nice padding around it. Bootstrap container, and this takes 12 columns. This takes 9 columns. This takes news take this amount of space. Do I need another one? I can put another row here and keep it empty. It's not a problem. But for now, I think I'm okay with that. The footer is a bit bigger. I need to fix that too. I probably will go for another Bootstrap example for the dark one. But for now, it's okay. Drop down works. That's fine. You can do whatever you like. Bootstrap. The story. You can put an image here. You can do design however you like it. Now I'm going to look for some colors, so you can see those colors. Bootstrap 5 background color. Background color. Let's see if I can grab some colors. They have classes for everything, so I'm going to try to use as much as possible the their classes. BG secondary, BG secondary. Okay, let's take this one. BG dark. Actually, let's take BG dark. I'm just gonna see if I can change my navigation bar a little darker. What it has? Snap bar, BG light. I'm gonna change it to BG dark. Light. Let me see if it does change anything. Okay. So that's because the text, do they have anything dark for the text? Let's see. So this one seems like the background. What about my text? Let's see if they have something. I'm just guessing. Yeah, I have that. So that's good. I have matching footer and header. I'm happy with that so far, so good. You can put your own logo here. You can do a lot of things. You can move them to the right, whatnot. You can do everything you like. Right. So far so good. I do not have any padding on the top. I can put some padding. I want some space here. My project. So let's go and go to index. Look for your container. I'm going to add a class called Y5, which means add maybe space between the top and bottom of this container. Let's see if it does it. It's a new feature. No, it doesn't. It should do that. I'm sorry. Let me see if I can do it here. I know that they have a new feature called Y5. I hope I read. Is it Y-5 or Y5? I think it's just Y5. Let me try. If it doesn't work, it should be just Wi-Fi. I'm just guessing because I don't remember all of it yet. Wi-Fi. Let's try this here. Let's see. I want some space. Was it Wi-Fi? No. No, I do not have. Let me see Bootstrap. Bootstrap 5 utilities. Let's say Y5. Y5. Let's see if there's something that I can use. They used to have margin top and margin bottom. My Y. What is my Y? Margin, why was it? Spacing. Let's see. Spacing, which is okay. Yes. Hello, spacing. What's new? PY. You don't need to. I need to say center. Gap 3. This is between. Again, it's gap, but they use something called gap as well between the grids. This is it. I have plenty. I know that where I can find it. Okay, leave it. So I'm gonna use the old style. Probably I'll try to add something here. Let's see if this works. This is there is to a margin top MT5. Let's see if this is still valid. So what is the matter with this? MT5 on the row. Let me put some background first so I can identify each of them. Let's just put some background first so I can identify. For my intro paragraph, I would like to use something lighter. Let's see, light gray. Okay, let's for now just put something there. What can I put? This one is BG light is good. So that's BG light, and this is second column. Story is, let's say, BG info for now, just to see whether they're affecting. Let's see what it is. So that's the whole. This one is this is light gray. You won't able to see it. Rather than putting into info, entire row, I'm just going to put into here on my one column. And I need to get another color. Where is it? Maybe for news. Let's do this. Just for fun. I know you can have your own colors and whatever you like. It's just to see their classes. Secondary, which is secondary. Let me see. The news. Yeah. Okay. Let me see. These guys have some tools, much tools that I need for spacing. There you go. See if I can grab this some spacing from them. Anyway, so you have this some sort of website going on. We can see it's working. And let's see if we can add some space. It would be a good idea. Spacing. The spacing utility. Let's see. Assign a sponsor-friendly margin and padding values notation. Class and name using the format property site size. Properties site size. Okay. M4 class access margin P. An example, I would be good idea up to 5 by default margin padding space 3. Example, show code. Key 3. Margin top 0. I did margin top, it didn't drop. It's the same. Why didn't work? Margin top. MT5 empty5. Empty5 did not work. I'll be surprised. I need to find out what is actually utility level in 5. Oh, it's worked. It's worked. So maybe the cache was the problem. So if I have empty margin top 5, that's for row. What if I want to do this? Let's say margin, y5, y5 maybe. Let's see if it is works. If not, then I'm going to try. I'm just going to find out what is the y1 was, how it was written with the y means both axes. Is it margin? Do I have to write my? Why do I have to? Because that's y axis. As far as I know, it goes with y axis. No, it doesn't. Okay. Well, I tried py5. Let's see py5. See py5. Let's see if this is the case. I'm just gonna guess it because I do not exactly know where is the dot or anything. I'm just gonna guess it quickly. See if it is any of them work, then I will have an idea of how they write it. It's a new one. The y1 is the new one. The other day was py. So py padding. You write this py5. That's a new feature on the y-axis. Padding into the y-axis. I got it now. So you just do like this. I want to around the container. So it will be space in the hair. It will be space at the bottom. So in the container, I put py5. Let's see how it works. So there is a little space. Nice. There should be a little space. It's good. That's okay for me now. And I can do a lot more things here. I can just put a gap 3. Maybe let's see the gap 3 works. They said there is a new utility called gap 3. Where did I just saw it? Row column. Gap 3. Gap item. Gap 3. Let's see if I put the gap 3, if I can get some gap. I'm not sure it's the horizontal gap. Let's double check. These are new features, just exploring them. These row need a little gap. What if I put it here? Will I have a little gap? Or it will take away from my space. If it is a horizontal, vertical gap, then of course I won't see anything. Yep. Let's put it here as well, secondary. I don't think so it's going to work because I already have occupied all the space. There's no space. No, the horizontal is going to be vertically, I believe. What it's saying. When using display grid, you can make use of grid on the parent grid container. This can save. Okay, already recent visuals. Okay, different. Okay, so this says to give it to parent container. Let's see if the parent container is the row. That should work. Or the container itself to have a little gap. Ooh, if you put a gap, it's gonna go down. As you can see, that's what I thought. Maybe if you put a gap, because you occupied all the space, let's do one gap. I'm pretty much sure still it's not 12, it's over 12. Yeah, it's gonna stay there because I don't have space. I need to think of that space somewhere if I want to put a gap. So I'm not gonna leave it that way, but it works. So these are new features comes with Bootstrap, like a py gap, a gap. We'll explore them more. As you can see, I'm just learning from there as well. I'm just, and if you want a custom, let's say I want a custom style for this. Maybe I can do BG light class for this particular So they have, I know there is one BG light we use for, so it's a BG, I believe this is BG light. Let me see what I did on the header. BG dark, number dark, text color. Let me see if it is BG, anything like that. BG light. No, it's some background. I want text light color. Of course, you're not gonna do BG light. Background. No, that's actually better anyway. BG light. What was this before? BG light. That's okay. Yeah. So that's pretty much. You know, you can do a lot of things like this. You can change this color to suit your purposes. I just put some very vibrant color so you can see the effect of color. So that's pretty much our Bootstrap, how you can add Bootstrap. As you can see, I'm just borrowing different components from there, and it's just a matter of time. By the time, of course, as we are doing here, we're just doing as we go along. Of course, for your own application, you would have a much more planning. You'll have your wireframe done, so you know what you expect. You have chosen your font, layout, this and that. This is just to show you how you can do the Bootstrap, how you can implement Bootstrap and new Bootstrap 5. You could do a lot more improvement on it. For example, you can just find out what kind of logo you need. So if I say I want these logos to work, so let's go and say font awesome version 5. Let's find some font awesome CSS, and then we're going to use it. Font awesome CDN. Okay, let's see, because we need some fonts for this Facebook and whatever it is. Font awesome no longer free, I believe, but still they have some free. Let's see if I can find it. I think old versions are free, not the new one. And it is CDN from which version I have here. Ooh, I'm not sure I can use 6. I'm not sure I can use 6. They all have 6. That's very latest. Copy link. Let's try 6. I'm not sure it's going to work. So because I'm going to load the font awesome, I'm going to go to header. Just after Bootstrap, I'm just going to throw this.
So I'm sure that will be for.
I need the whole code.
Font
I need the code. I hope it works. Font awesome loaded. Bootstrap loaded. Say, let's see, font awesome. Font awesome. Facebook. See if I can grab a Facebook icon. As I say, font awesome has multiple different types of versions, so not all versions are free. So if you see it doesn't work, that means you need the original version of that particular version. Okay, Facebook, I found some. That's 6. I hope it works. Let's have a look at this one. The square there, and here there is square kind of things. Okay, let's look. So here I'm just going to take this. I hope it allows me. Come on. Let's start. Let's see if one works, then I can use others. Okay, take this. Since I loaded, let's see if this works. Might even work if I refresh it. Yeah, so they use version 6. All I have to do load the, I don't even have to change anything because they use version 6, latest one. So font awesome is here now. You have your logos. If you want, you can move that to right side. Let's see how to move Bootstrap navbar item, navbar to right. That's a common problem. So we want to change it to the right side. Okay. I'm sure they have a class that can help us. Let's have a look. MR Auto 2U using, we're using MR Auto, margin auto, okay. ML Auto. ML Auto. I need to change it to ML Auto. Let's see. Where is this MR Auto? Find MR. No, it doesn't have it. So I need to add that. Okay, you're using ML Auto. Where is he using ML Auto? UL. Never UL. Never UL. Okay. I have to put ML Auto. Is it ML Auto written like this? Let me see. Where is ML Auto? And change class to ML Auto. So I've done that in my UL, where the UL starts. Let's see if it does any tricks. No, it doesn't. They're put in the wrong place. Let's double check. So this is the best answer. I have to put not important. You have margin left auto. Okay. Do I have to do this as well? Margin left auto important. These are tricks, little bit of tricks. But I think ML Auto should work. Change to the class ML Auto. These are the same class. Actually. Yeah, but just have to make sure that they are same type of navigation bar. I'm sure it's ML Auto. The class navbar name MR Auto. Navbar MR. That's the one. Why it didn't work? Let's see this implementation. See if it works. If it doesn't, then I'm going to leave it that way. Yeah. So need a little bit of tweakings needed. Now the drop down is outside of the window. Let's fix that too. So how do I do that? I'm going to use the same thing. Bootstrap 5 drop down out of the screen. Let's see if any options there. So basically, because we don't know exact name of these things, if you have this kind of problem, which is you just have to look for it, because we did not design any of these things, so we wouldn't know. Full right. No, this is old. I know it's called full right. Drop down menu light, right? Drop down menu. I think this is the one I need. drop down menu, right? Okay, let's try that. Drop down menu. I need to find the class drop down menu. Where it is? Where it is? Drop down menu. The bottom drop down menu here. Let's try this. And I hope we are good to go. We fixed a few things here. We fixed a lot of things here, but then the rest of the thing I'm not going to do anything. So leave it for you guys to. Well, this should work. Area level drop down menu button. Area drop down. Oh. Never drop down link. That's the one. Drop down link. Somewhere here I have to do it. So drop div plus drop down menu right. Start button. Let's see if this does still work. No, it didn't. It did actually, because no, I didn't. Let's fix that one. UL class drop down menu, drop down right. Work for me. For me, it didn't. Oh, okay. So if I adding full right to UL drop down menu. Full right will work. Let's try this. Options. Full right if it is work. Usually drop down menu right work. Last time I remember. Yes. Nope, it didn't work. So none of this actually worked. Or maybe I'm putting in the wrong place. This drop down menu right should work. Okay, let's remove this bit. We have two classes. No, that's not gonna work. That's destroyed the whole thing. So I need that part. I also need the other part. Full right did not work. I know this is definitely the right one, but I don't know why it's not working. Let me check. No, I'm not gonna use this. Let's see. Our screen. Let's see if anything else I can find. I know they have a class. I don't know. Screen. Let's see if we can get something nice. Ah, this is the one I want to search. Let's see what they say. People find this problem and then they try to help each other. Nope. Nope. Let's see if this is a basic problem for everybody. Ah, I see. Make sure you are reading the correct document for the version you are using. You will see that version 5 uses drop-down menu end for the right align. So they change it to end. But where are you gonna put it? UL drop-down menu. So I need this. Not right. You see, that's the version to version, the changes. So you need to check.
Make sure, yes.
Okay, that's the one. The drop-down menu. Hope it works for Bootstrap 5. They used to call it right, Bootstrap 4. And that's why it didn't work. But I'm gonna keep looking for it unless I find something maybe good for me. Yeah, that's fixed the problem. Yeah. So we have achieved a lot of things. You can put your logos and everything. Yeah.